Hey guys, it's Alyssa from AlyssaNalani.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you a flip through of my Filofax personal rings. This is a Filofax Domino in the color Fawn, and I've had this since about February of this year and have been in and out of it a couple of times as the year has gone by. Now, last week, which was last month, I did a flip through of my B6 Stalogy and how I had used it for the month of August and how I had set it up for the month of September. And while I absolutely love my Stalogy, I love the B6 size. It was my first experience in B6. I've really been craving my rings. And what I realized is that I crave rings or traveler's notebooks, one or the other, when it gets towards fall and winter, because that's the time I really love decorating. And so I love dashboards and dividers and, insert covers if I'm in a traveler's notebook and all of those kinds of things. And you can't do as much of that kind of stuff in a bullet journal setup. You can tip things in, but it's just not quite the same for me. And so I really started craving my rings again. And I thought, this is why, because we're getting into the fall and winter months. It's not something that I crave quite as much during spring and summer. So I thought I would indulge myself, get back into my rings. I took some stuff out of my Stalogy and, I didn't literally take anything out because it's a bound book, but I've moved things out of my Stalogy and back into my personal rings, and that's what I want to show you today. Now, just a couple of things from the front end so that I don't have to repeat myself. I do have some graphics in here that I printed, but I'm not terribly sure where they all came from. I usually pull things from Pinterest, but I may have pulled something from someplace else, and I just don't know, because I keep a folder of pretty things that I find on the internet and print them as I want to use them. So I can't quite point you to where I've found everything. The other thing is with my dividers, these are super simple. It's just scrapbooking paper or cardstock that I chose several kinds, put them back to back, glued them together so I'd have a front and back side, traced them around a template that I bought from Hobby Lobby. I'll link it below if I can find it online. They are Carpe Diem divider templates, both in personal size and A5. And so just traced them out, cut them out, punched them, and put them in my planner. And that's all I've gotten here as far as decor and whatnot. So let me go ahead and give you the tour. This is just the flyleaf that comes, is it called a flyleaf? I feel like it's called something else, but I can't think of what other people call it. Anyway, it's just the piece of plastic that comes with your planner when you get it. Nothing much going on in here. I've got a bill and some account information for another bill. Just keep that there handy. I made this a long time ago and keep it in here. This is from my original setup back in January. I've got my mission statement, my life priorities and goals, life planning tasks, the 20 before 2020 list. If you want to see this more in detail, I believe I talk about it in my personal rings January setup. Should be in that video. You can check that out. 20 before 2020, I wrote about that towards the beginning of the year. I will link that blog post as well as my January setup video if you're interested. Just another graphic that I found on Pinterest I thought was really cute. This used to be in my Filofax A5 Malden setup from last year. And so I pulled up a bunch of that stuff and printed them out. And I just took my stick glue and stuck it on a piece of paper, and that's it. I just like looking at it. I think it's super cute. So kind of lame, but it works for me. And then on this grid paper, I just have my third quarter goals and my fourth quarter goals. Obviously still working on some fourth quarter goals. And then I've got some extra paper. This is a top loading pocket from Filofax that is just hanging out here. Some acetate from my February setup that I've just kept in here. I believe I got it from Hobby Lobby, maybe Michael's, one of the two. I'm like 80% sure it's Hobby Lobby. Another graphic I might have even purchased this off Etsy and I have no idea. I'm sorry, you guys. I thought it was really cute, and that's perfect for autumn because autumn is all about cozy and warm drinks and books, and it's also for getting things done because I don't know about you, but like the hot weather drains me and I feel so sluggish and just bleh. But in the fall, I feel more invigorated and like I want to tackle all the things. So I'm super stoked for the weather to cool off and for autumn to arrive. Anyway, I've got this first divider, and this is where I keep my months and my weeks. This is just the 2019-2020 calendar from Filofax. And these are the original calendar pages that I had in my setup from the beginning of the year. These are blank Peanuts Planner Co. inserts, month on 2 pages. I just write in my dates, write in my month, and they're ready to go. I like having all of my months in a planner setup because then I can forward plan. So like here for October, I need to print out updated insurance cards for our auto insurance. And so I can just stick sticky notes on any month when I know that I need to keep track of something or be reminded of something. Doctor's appointments, those kinds of things can go on a sticky note and pop it in here for forward planning. And then also for finances, I found it really helpful, especially when we have expenses that are coming up but that are not a part of our monthly budget. So like yearly subscriptions or memberships, I would write it down on a sticky note, plop it in the month that it's due, so that if it's an auto draft, I know that it's coming up and I can prepare for it. And, my husband and I can say, oh yeah, that thing is coming out. Just know that, that amount is going to be out of our budget. Or if I have to go pay it, in person, I know that I need to get that done. So I always like my months for forward planning. Excuse me. And then I've got another one of those graphics and another one of those graphics, literally with a stick of glue and a piece of paper. And I've got some pretty in there. This is a fold-out habit tracker from Peanuts Planner Co. And I have the sticky note because obviously there's nothing set up here. And I know we're already like 6 days into the month and it's not done. But this is where I want to keep track of household tasks. So cleaning specific rooms in the house, certain just tasks to do around the house. I not only want to be accountable about doing them on a regular basis, because I'm kind of bad at that, but also I want to just kind of have a record of this is when I get things done. Does it work? How is it working? Do I need to change something up? That kind of thing. So I need to get that set up. And then I just have a little page flag here to make opening it a bit easier. And then I've got my week on 2 pages. These are Filofax inserts that came with the planner when I bought it. And I decided to just go ahead and use them again because I don't need a whole lot when it comes to my weeks. I just need a place to make sure that I'm catching things, right? So in my Stalogy, which I don't have on me, I had just basically, let's see if I can show this. I just had like 2 pieces of paper or a 2-page spread, and I put my little page flag with the week number on it on the spread. Excuse me, guys, I've got something stuck in my throat. And then I would use that to catch all of the weekly things, and then it would be there available for me to transfer into my dailies, right? So that's what this functions as. And it's super basic, not a whole lot going on. This was this week. I still have to fill some stuff in. That happened, So I put stickers in every once in a while. If I don't get to, it's not a huge deal. This is just to catch all the things and designate and all of that. So I've got the weeks for this month tabbed, and then when October comes, I'll tab those ones. And I have it all the way to December. This is another graphic that I found, and then another divider. I love making fall dividers. I don't know what it is. Fall is my favorite season, and I just love everything about having fall things all around me, including in my planner. This is just a journaling card, and I found this on Pinterest, printed it out, cut it out, and pasted it on the card. This is my September to-do list. And in my Stalogy, I had my to-do list separated into two parts, one for personal and one for work. I decided that I needed to quit putting work stuff in my personal planner and keep my work stuff in my work planner. I have a planner specifically designated for the blog and the channel. I need to keep it all in that place and not have it in more than one place, because then it just gets to be too much. So personal to-do list for the month, and then I have a list of self-care items that I want to work on this month. I wrote a post about how I'm going to devote September to self-care, and I was pulling from a post that I had written last year about the 5 areas of self-care. And so I'm going to address all 5 areas, but choose one item or one task to work on in each one of those areas, if that makes sense. Sorry, I kind of rambled that one. But anyway, so that's my little list there. And I'll link both blog posts, the 5 areas of self-care and the self-care September post that I did yesterday, in case you're interested. And then for my dailies, I didn't even print dailies, you guys. I have several sheets of just the lined Filofax paper, and I popped it in here, and that's what I'm using. This is today. This is what I got to get done. So working on that, and I got some of the blank pages too. In the next section, this is for like lists and things. Not terribly sure how this is going to develop or change, but I've got some household lists that I want to make. This is the index of those lists. So I want a list of grocery staples. I want a list of household staples, like products and things that we use. The chores that need to get done around the house, household accounts and info, just so I can have it at a glance. And then information on our rental home. And then this is just some leftover paper from a Recollections personal size planner booklet that I got. Oh, no. This came with my personal Recollections planner. I don't think I ever bought the booklet. This just came with a planner. So I popped it in there. And then this last section is for finances. And ooh, I've got a spending tracker from Peanuts Planner Co. This is what it looks like empty. I've got some other expenditures on the back. And that's just where I keep track of certain expenses during the month, things that both my husband and I purchased. I pop it in there. And then this is just some vellum I have. And then I keep a list of our monthly bills. These are the things that we pay, our subscriptions that we pay. On this side, I just have when our credit card payments are due. We have several credit cards between the two of us. But we don't use them very often because we're basically debt free except for my school loan. So there's no way we're trying to get back into credit card debt. But anyway, just in case we use one, this is when they're due. I tend to check the balances on a weekly basis and just cancel them out or, pay them off. But anyway, those are those dates. And then these are things that are due on a yearly basis, just so I know, ahead of time. And then I've got this excess these excess insert sheets from Peanuts Planner Co. that are just kind of hanging out in the back. And this is just a list of our yearly expenses. That was my original sheet I had copied onto that other page. And then just a little personal size folder. And then this is just one of those little wallet calendars. And this is where I keep track of, I used to do it in an insert, but I thought it'd be nice just to kind of have it here. This is where I keep track of when our bills are due. So I can just write down all the dates because sometimes they change. I used to just keep like a running list, but then sometimes they would shift, or if it's due on a weekend, I want to pay it on a weekday. So certain things are date specific, or day specific, I should say. And I want to make sure that I'm on top of that. So I keep a calendar so that I can keep track of what days things fall on. And so I can look at the month and see what our finances look like. And that's it. That is it. that is how I've got my personal ring set up for at least for September. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the fall months, or at least the rest of the year. And I think I'm gonna like it. Like I said, I've moved some things out of my Stalogy and into my personal rings, and I'm gonna be using my Stalogy primarily for journaling. I'll probably do some task-oriented things, but mainly for journaling. And that is because I had a conversation with one of my girlfriends, and that's what she said she was gonna do. If you're watching, you know who you are. You have ruined me because now I've changed everything up again. But I think it's going to be good. I love the size of the Stalogy, but man, was I hankering for these rings. So I think journaling in the B6 and planning in my personal will work out just fine. If you have any questions, you know where to leave them. I will try to link as much as I can in the description box, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.